Hello, Midnight Wolves, and welcome back to another video on my channel. And today we're here with another video where I'm going to be sitting and talking. I got a story to tell. Okay, so I had a cousin, and she was not very nice. She was the meanest cousin I have ever had. Like, I have a lot of cousins, but this cousin, oh my gosh, she took the cake of being the biggest bee of them all. Okay, and because of my cousin being the way she is, the thing is, she was a little kid, and she was like, I don't know, like, I could see where my grandmother was going with this. Okay, so this story is about religion. I recently did a video of 50 things about me. If you did not see that video, go and check it out. And one was about my religion, but I don't follow that religion or practice that religion at all. And another thing, I do not believe in God. Yes, we've been through this. If you believe in God, that is totally okay. I'm not gonna like tell you like what to do. You can believe in a God, you can follow him, whatever. I don't care. I, on the other hand, do not believe in God. I don't like go down any religious. Anyway, so moving on from that. Getting into my religious background, pretty much. My grandmother, I had this grandmother, and that was my dad's mother, and she believed in the Lord, read the Bible religiously, she went to church religiously, she did everything. She prayed. So she was a very, very religious woman. I had this cousin who was, she was young. And I get it that kids go through like shit and they are completely like mean. But I had this cousin. She was, I don't know what was going on with her, but one time she almost set our house on fire. She was my mom had candles lit and she was playing with the fire. Even don't get me wrong, I was playing with the fire, the candle that was burning. I was playing with it. Mom told us not to play with it. I stopped playing with it, but she continued, and I'm like, you should stop. Mom told us to stop, and she's like, shut up. And I'm like, once she said shut up, that was it. She got her way no matter what. So I was like, whatever. So she was playing with the candle, and I was talking with someone, I think my other cousin, because they lived with us. And oh my god, it was just a nightmare with her living in the household with us. But anyway, so I was talking to my other cousin because it was her, the bad cousin, her sisters and brothers living with us. I'm talking to my other cousin. The bad cousin is like doing things with the fire, and I'm just talking, and then next thing I know, I hear fire, and I'm like, what? And I looked, and she threw paper that was on fire on the fucking floor, and it started to, burn the carpet that was underneath our feet. And Mom comes running in, and she stomps on it. Luckily, she had shoes on, and she's like, what happened? I told you guys to knock it off, stop playing with the candles that are lit. And I'm like, we stopped playing with it. But my other cousin, the bad cousin, I'm not gonna give names out, by the way, that's why I'm trying to not give out names. But I'm like, but she kept on playing with it, and oh my god, and they had the whole thing where, like, I don't know, the weirdest thing is my mom couldn't, like, punish my cousin, like, the mom of them and the father of my cousins had to punish them, and if anyone punished the child that wasn't their own, there was, like, this huge freaking argument over who punished who, and I'm like, who freaking cares? You're all adults. I get it that that's your child, but like at least you're all adults. What are the I didn't understand it. I'm like, who cares who punished who? Like, just freaking punish the freaking child. But my mom couldn't punish her until her dad or mom got home from work. And then when they got home from work, then they punished the child. So she goes throughout the whole entire day without being punished. So she's like, I got away with it, pretty much. So it's like, who cares who's home to punish the child? Just let whoever, punish them. I didn't understand my aunt and uncle. I didn't understand them. They're like, you cannot punish my child until I get home, and then I will punish them. Like, who fucking cares? You're not home when she does this shit. So let my mom punish your fucking child. She almost burnt down our freaking house. But whatever. She was like the worst child. She threw the worst tantrums of the world. Like, if you said no to her, oh boy, did all hell broke loose. She legitly started throwing shit, screaming her lungs out. Like, I don't know why, but she was the worst child ever. But anyway, so now getting to the part where my grandmother comes into this whole situation. So one day, my mom sends me, my sister, my brother, and all my cousins that lived with us up to my grandmother's house. Now, we all lived in the same building complex when I was younger. So when you go up one stairs, you turn up to one area, and that's where we lived. And then you go up the stairs, and my aunt lived above us, and then you go down the stairs, and then across this way, my grandmother and my aunt, one of my other aunts, lives. So it's my grandmother, her daughter, and my aunt's daughter. So it's all confusing. I know, I'm sorry. We all lived in the same apartment complex. So I grew up really close with my cousins because we all lived in the same building, pretty much. Not everyone, but almost everyone lived in this one building complex. So it was like the whole family was in one area. So anyway, so we were set off to my grandmother's house. So we went upstairs, and it was like, I think, early in the morning because my parents had to work, and so didn't their parents. So all the parents went off to work. All children shift off to grandma. So we were all in my cousin's room, the one that lived with my grandmother, and we were all in there hanging out, doing something. I can't remember because it was so long ago. And then my bad cousin started her crap. I went out into the living room because I think my grandmother called me out to ask me what happened. Like I said, I have no idea what happened because it happened so long ago, and most of my memory, I have really bad memory. I've said this multiple times when I'm live streaming. I have like terrible memory because due to my transverse myelitis, it messes with your spine, but also messes with your head. So I lost like all my childhood pretty much. Like once in a while something will trigger a memory and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. So anyways, I went out because my grandmother called me and she asked me something. I relayed something back to her when I was talking to grandma, trying to tell her what happened of whatever happened. She was bad mouthing. She was talking over me, and she snatched my cousin up, and she put her hand on top of her head. She was like this, and she was trying to exorcise my freaking cousin. She was like, demon leave this child. And I'm just like, I was like terrified. I was like, oh my god, what is going on? Because I was like, she was much older than me, my cousin that was acting up. She was like, I don't know, she wasn't that much older, but she was like a few years older than me. So I was like still young, like maybe 5, 6 years old. And she was like almost teenish. So she was like 12 or 11. So yeah, this was about the time that my grandmother tried to exorcise the demon out of my cousin because she was so freaking bad that my grandmother legitimately thought a demon had crawled inside of her and took over her body, and she tried to exorcise the demon out of her. And she even remembers this to this day, my cousin, because when my grandmother passed away, we were talking about things that happened, and she was pregnant at the time. I remember this. She was pregnant at the time. My cousin that was really bad. She was pregnant with one of her sons at the time, and my grandmother passed away, and we were all sitting in this room talking about things that happened. And I don't think it was it me that brought it up or somebody else. I don't remember who brought it up, but somebody brought it up that she tried to exorcise the demon out of her, and she's like, oh yes, I remember that because I was being so bad that she tried to exorcise the demon out of me. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that, and I almost shit myself when it happened, and everyone started dying laughing. So it was scary at the time of it happening, but now looking back on it and thinking about it, it makes me freaking laugh because she legitimately thought a demon had possessed her and made her the way she was because she was so freaking bad. Like, she was the worst. I don't know what made me think about this one day. I was thinking of stories to tell you guys when I was down at my mom's for Easter, and I don't know what made me think about the story. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta tell this story to you guys to the one time my grandmother exorcised the demon out of my cousin because she was so freaking bad. It was ridiculous. She almost set our house on fire. That's how bad it was. She legitimately almost set the house on fire with everyone inside. Like, not everyone because her parents weren't home, but she was inside of it. I was inside of it. All her sisters were inside of it. All my brothers and sisters were inside of the house. My mom was inside of that house. I don't know where my dad was. He was probably off on the road because my dad's a truck driver, so he was gone most of the time, so he was probably not even home. But yeah, so it was bad. She was bad. And so my grandmother legitimately tried to exorcise the demon out of her because she was that bad. Anyways, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed it because I actually like thinking back on it and laughing because my grandmother, she's gone now. She passed, and actually her passing just went by just recently. She died on April 3rd of this month. She passed away in 2011. So it's been, oh my god, I can't believe it's been that long. It's been 10 freaking years. I can't believe it's been that long since she passed away. But yeah, so I like sometimes thinking back on things about my grandmother, and I think it was actually, I was down at my mom's house for Easter, and I think it was around on the day that she passed away that I thought about that. So that was interesting. Yeah, she was a really good woman. She was very religious. And I think because of her religious and me growing up with it, I just, like, I thought, oh, one day I'll be like grandma and probably be religious. And then, yeah, I didn't end up religious like my grandmother at all. I love my grandmother very much, and I miss her every single day. And I remember this one time when you had like the worst day ever. I was a teenager, and you know how you think your life is over like a million times over before you grow out of it. Well, this day I was having the worst day. I felt like my life was over with pretty much. And I went to my grandmother's house. I was in the mood and didn't want no one to talk to me. And if anyone talked to me, I would glare at them, kind of situation. And I sat down on the couch and I'm just like being a teenager. And she will legitimately just go, Alicia. And I'm like ignoring her, you know. And she's like, Alicia, don't ignore me. And of course, I'll continue to ignore her. And then she'll be like, Alicia, don't smile. Don't smile. And she would just keep doing that until you just burst out laughing and start smiling. And then she'll be like, what happened? Tell me. And she'll just sit there and talk with you. And I always opened up to her and told her what was going on. I also opened up all the time to my mom. But on this particular day, I guess I didn't want to open up to my mom. When we went to go see grandma, and she realized I was in a bad mood, she did her usual don't smile thing. I talked to her and told her everything, and then after that, she told my mom, so my mom could take care of it. That is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do. Like I said, I love thinking back on my grandma and everything, so it's a great story, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, ring that bell if you want to see more videos of me, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see all you beautiful night wolves in the next video. Goodbye. Don't you know that you're beautiful?